for pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. In obituary news this morning, Sarah Virginia Chambers, age 80, died Wednesday. And Talladega Funeral Home directing the service for Miss Chambers, which will be the family receiving friends today, 2 until 3 at the funeral home. And the service follows at 3 in the chapel of Talladega Funeral Home. Kevin Stevens officiating that service. Talladega Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. Other obituary news this morning, homegoing celebration remembering the life of Mr. Orlando Lamb Cole Sr., age 63 of Talladega, will be Saturday at noon from S.M. Goodson Funeral Home Chapel with the Reverend Robert Duncan officiating. Interment following the services at the St. Campbell Baptist Church Cemetery. Viewing today, 1 until 6 at the funeral home, S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory in Talladega directing that service. Homegoing celebration remembering the life of Elder Dr. Ola S. Curry, age 71 in Talladega. That will be Saturday at 3 o'clock from Champion Church with Pastor Barbara Embry officiating. Interment in the Pine Hill Memorial Park. Viewing for Elder Dr. Curry will be today from 1 until 6 at the funeral home, S.M. Goodson Funeral Home Crematory directing. Graveside service will be Sunday at 2 o'clock for Gloria Hart. And that service will be held at Lily Roden Cemetery in Childersburg. Visitation is Saturday from 2 until 6 at Grace Memorial Chapel Funeral Home in Sylacauga. Ms. Hart passed away April 15th. Grace Memorial Chapel Funeral Home in Sylacauga directing that service. Celebration of life for Mrs. Lula Mae Johnson Strickland, age 89, is Saturday at 1 p.m. from Community Funeral Home Chapel in Sylacauga, with the Reverend Pearson McGee officiating. Interment in the Sylacauga Cemetery. Visitation is today, 1 until 7 at the funeral home. Online condolences at communityfuneralhome.org. Community Funeral Home Sylacauga directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Bessie L. Robinson is Saturday at noon from Harding Chapel in Raglan. Sims Funeral Service in Talladega directing. Funeral service for Mr. Herbert Franklin Smokey West, age 73 of Jackson's Gap, will be Saturday at 3 o'clock from the Chapel of Radley Funeral Home in Alexander City. Reverend Ronnie Bolware will officiate. Burial in the Hillview Memorial Park. The family will receive friends Saturday from 1:30 to 2:45 at Radley Funeral Home in Alexander City. Mr. West died Friday, April 16th at Grandview Medical Center in Birmingham. Smokey was a Vietnam veteran, served his country in the U.S. Army. And memorial message may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home in Alexander City in charge of the arrangements, and all visitation and services will be held in compliance with the mandated rules from the Alabama Department of Public Health. Memorial service for Ms. Wanda Jane White, age 54 of Talladega, will be Sunday, April 25th at 1 o'clock from Apostolic Truth Tabernacle Church in Talladega with Pastor Jimmy Huggins officiating. Ms. White died February the 11th at Citizens BMC, and she was a member of the Apostolic Truth Tabernacle. Graveside service for Mr. Philip McBride Jackson III, age 74 of Alexander City, is today at 1 o'clock from Alexander City Cemetery with Reverend Mike Dinsmore officiating. Mr. Jackson died April 17th at Brookwood Medical Center in Birmingham. In lieu of flowers, memorial contribution can be made to the UAB Medicine at Russell Medical Cancer Center, 3316 Highway 280, Alexander City, 35010. Mr. Mr. Jackson was a longtime member of the Alexander City Lions Club and was a member of the First Baptist Church in Alexander City. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com, Radley Funeral Home, Alexander City, directing. And Celebration of Life honoring Mary Elizabeth Jemison is 1 o'clock today at Antioch Church Cemetery with the Reverend Robert L. Duncan, the Reverend Van T. Welch, and Reverend Joe Sherrill officiating the celebration. Online condolences at terrysmortuary.com. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary in Talladega in charge of the arrangements. This obituary report this morning brought to you by Courteous & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. For pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975, it's Courteous & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.